Jamaican boy you born and raised. Nowadays I'm lost between two shores. LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York is home, but it ain't mine no more. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard at all, not even the chair. I am my pride. I have said and I am lost, and I can't even say why. Leaving me lonely still. Did you read about a frog who dreamed of being a king? And they all became one, except for the name. A few other changes to talk about me. The story is the same one. But I've got this.
Oh, well. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good evening. How are you doing this evening? How's everybody doing? And I welcome everybody to the program. My name is Chris Wilby, and this is the Hot Topic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the Hot Topics. The Hot Topics, THT, cutting through the noise, one truth at a time. Welcome to the Hot Topics, coming to you every Thursday on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, Linkage Radio, and Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. The Hot Topic. This is the show that dives beneath the surface to tackle the issues shaping our relationships, our communities, and our world. From Caribbean current affairs to global headlines, we break it all down with clarity and conviction. Here on THD, we are fair, honest, and genuine. We're committed to uncovering the truth, bringing balance to the conversation, and setting the record straight. So get ready. Get ready for the insight. Get ready for the perspective and powerful dialogue. Because when it comes to what really matters, we're cutting through the noise, one truth at a time. This is the Hot Topics on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, The Chris Wilby Show. All right. All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. As I say before, my name is Chris Wilby, and you're listening to the Hot Topics on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, covering the globe like no one else can. Um, I am hoping that the stream will cooperate this evening because last week we had to abort. We had to abort the show because we weren't getting any volume. The volume wasn't cooperating. So let me see. We haven't had a show since we tested everything, and the we just have well, we tested and we got the feedback a couple of days ago, and everything seemed to have been working. So I don't know. This is the first real test since then. So I don't know what's if this thing is going to cooperate or not. Yeah. So let me welcome everybody who is tuning in right now. I want to say good evening to you and welcome to the program. It is indeed a beautiful day, and I thank you all for being a part of the program. Chris will be show the hot topics. It's there are many things that we have on the agenda, right? But let me first see if I can get some. Oh boy, it seems as if we're doing it again, huh? It seems as if we're doing it again. We're not getting the video to cooperate. We're not getting the video to cooperate at all, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what is happening here. Not cooperating at all. I'm getting all kinds of pop up on my screen. So I'm trying to see if I can sort this out. Good evening to you, Sister Pat. I see Sister Pat tuning in. How are you, Sister Pat? Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Yeah, hope all is well. So yes, have everything here ready, but we're not gonna let anything deter us this evening. You see, because Satan cannot work one way sometime. But ladies and gentlemen, the 50-year medical mission with Cuba. If you are hearing me on the YouTube chat, put up a sign there. Let me know that you are hearing me. Right? If you are hearing me on the YouTube chat, I want you to put up a sign that you are hearing me. All right? If there is no stutter, if you're hearing me loud and clear, I want you to signal that you're hearing me. All right? I know that the audio on the radio is supposed to be fine, but I don't know if the video is going out correctly. So if you are watching me on YouTube, just let me know that you are hearing me loud and clear. Yeah, if you're hearing me loud and clear on YouTube, please signal that you are hearing me. If you're hearing me on YouTube, please signal that you are hearing me. All right? Sister Pat said, hearing you loud and clear. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Sister Pat. All right. So I'm just going to proceed. And if for some strange reason you are not hearing me or you stop hearing me, just give me an indication. All right? Because I don't want to be here talking to myself. Now, as you can see, the topic this evening is The number one topic is that the 50-year medical mission with Cuba has ended. I had some cues, I had some videos to play, but I am going to, I don't know if I can pick those up because my computer has suddenly started, what do you call it? Twitching. It looked like it got the itch. So I am not sure if I can pull up those videos to play. But what I know is that luckily I saved the information. We're also going to talk about the Jamaican students. The Jamaican students were stranded. Well, not the Jamaican students. The Jamaicans who are stranded, who are at war. Yeah, they are in the war zone. They are stranded, the Jamaican citizens, and it doesn't seem as if our government is doing anything to assist them to bring them home. Right? It doesn't seem as if the government is doing anything to bring them home. And for me, it is indeed a shame. It is indeed a shame that the government of Jamaica is doing nothing to bring its citizens home. But the number one thing that we are going to start off on is the fact that the mission in Cuba seemed to be ending. The mission in Cuba, 50 years mission, the medical mission, seemed to be ending. And I you know, it is a sad thing and a sad day for Jamaica and the Caribbean. Very, very sad day. Very, very sad day. And reading from the Jamaica Gleaner, ladies and gentlemen, it states here that Jamaica has discontinued its medical cooperation program with Cuba. The Foreign Ministry announced Thursday that the move ends a 5-decade relationship under which healthcare workers from the communist nation filled key gaps in the local public health system. Now, this comes as both governments were unable to agree on the terms and conditions of a new technical cooperation arrangement following the expiration of the previous agreement on February 2023. The Kamina Johnson-Smith-led ministry said in a statement. It said, the government of Jamaica has taken the decision to discontinue the current arrangement concerning the deployment of medical professionals in the public health sector by the government of Cuba. Jamaica's decision comes as the United States intensifies economic pressure on Cuba and forces long-standing partners to revisit their relationship with island nation. Washington has also accused Cuba's overseas medical missions of constituting forced labor and human trafficking allegations rejected by Caribbean leaders. In its statement, the Foreign Ministry said Cuban medical professionals currently in Jamaica may be engaged individually for the remainder of their scheduled tenure in keeping with the country's labor laws. In the interest of continuity of the valuable service provided by the Cuban medical professionals present in the country and for their personal certainty and well-being, the government of Jamaica has indicated its willingness for the Ministry of Health and Wellness to engage these medical professionals on an individual basis in keeping with local labor laws, the ministry said. It explained that the arrangement would last for the remainder of their scheduled tenure in Jamaica under the program. It added Cuban medical professionals have been serving in various public health facilities across the island, and Jamaicans have benefited notably from the eye care programs as well as the general care by nurses and doctors. The government of Jamaica has expressed its sincere appreciation to the government of Cuba for its significant contribution to the health sector in Jamaica. Last month, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton confirmed that while the previous MOU had expired, nearly 300 Cuban doctors and specialists continue to serve in Jamaica under existing contracts. It's still in effect. We still have the Cuban workers here, Tufton told the Gleaner at the time. There is a negotiation, though, that is taking place regarding the current agreement. And discussions have been taking place, and that process is ongoing. Tufton acknowledged that outstanding requests from Jamaica would jeopardize the deal, but declined to disclose the specific plans being sought. The issue has dominated the ministry as the Dr. Andrew Holness-led administration seeks to manage its relations with increasingly impatient U.S. And there's the problem. And just read that part. Yeah? I think we could through all farce and all the pretense. The issue has dominated discussions at the foreign ministry as the Dr. Andrew Holness-led administration seeks to manage its relations with an increasingly impatient U.S. Impatience for health are great. It's a terrible situation for any health minister to be caught up between saving lives and foreign policy fights, said a government official with knowledge of the task but did not want to be named because they were not authorized to speak on the issue. Jamaica has made its choice. Jamaica has made its choice. And the article goes on to say that on Monday, Dominica, a CARICOM member, said it would enter into personal contracts with medical professionals from Cuba as it sought to modify its long-standing arrangement with Cuba. The comes as a question starting tomorrow over the proposed $1.3 billion budget for the 2026-2027 financial year, which begins on April 1. Tufton is scheduled to appear in Parliamentary Standing Finance Committee on Thursday. At a CARICOM summit last week, Holness, the Jamaican Prime Minister, praised Cuba for supporting the region's health system, but emphasized that Jamaica stands firmly for democracy, human rights, political accountability, and open market-based. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have heard me talking about this issue, the foreign policy issue, and the fact that Jamaica is caught between a rock and a hard place. Put it mildly. Jamaica is caught between a rock and a place. I say again, Jamaica is caught between a rock and a hard place. The government is not in a position to make decisions without thinking about the repercussions from its neighbor, the mighty U.S. And time after time, I have defended this government when people on social media and people within the diaspora and the opposition would hit out on the government saying that they are mean and they should stand up to the United States. I say to people all the time that I understand that Jamaica is a country, but I will continue to emphasize that we are in no position to dictate anything to the United States of America. Look for the situation we have found ourselves in. Read this 50-year medical mission that is coming to an end. 50 years. 50 years. And there must have been some form of pressure for this mission that has been not successful to come to an end. The Cuban government and the Jamaican government have worked together for decades. They have always found a way to iron out their differences to continue on with the mission. Who believe that this has nothing to do with what is happening in Washington? They have a bridge to sell you. If you believe that this situation has absolutely nothing to do with Washington, that's a bridge to sell you. So I don't know how we go manage, but all I know is that every prime minister, every government has to be trying to get the difficulty of foreign policy these days. Because with the kind of president, the Democratic Party, you see what happens. You see what happened. If he decide to come after you, you start getting a death threat, you know. Yes, man. Why you believe that a lot of people try not to go on his wrong side? Because a lot of people can't, especially if you cannot afford security. You just don't. Because people are afraid. And that is just the security within the United States. People are afraid for themselves and they're afraid of what is going to happen to their families. As a government, regional governments, people they're trying to navigate the waters. Yeah? They're trying to navigate the waters because it is treacherous, to say the least. It is treacherous at this point. So I know that the Andrew Holness administration is going to try to spin this as they could not agree. The Cuban government and the Jamaican government could not come to a consensus. And so, crap. It's a load of crap. I am telling you right now that it's a load of crap. In other words, nothing no go so. After 50 years, you believe that the government of Jamaica and the Cuban government could not come up with some form of arrangement? You really believe that? Hmm. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Yeah? I don't believe that. Because it doesn't pass the smell test. Now, there's also another thing that is a little bit concerning to me, you see? That's in the news today, ladies and gentlemen. And it is the let me find this article here and read it for you. And then I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. Nationwide is reporting that Jamaicans in the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, have been advised of a charter flight being coordinated by several Caribbean countries that may be able to accommodate those wanting to leave the region. Let me say this again, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaicans in the United Arab Emirates have been advised of a charter flight being coordinated by several Caribbean countries that may be able to accommodate those wanting to leave the region. This, as many expatriates remain anxious about hostilities in the region, as the US-Israeli war on Iran and Iran's retaliatory strike continues. The advisory to Jamaica was posted in a letter from Jamaica's ambassador designate to the UAE, Qatar, Jason Hall. It's understood. Here's the part where interests me now. It is understood the charter flight is being arranged by Dominica, Barbados, Grenada, and the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, want to listen to the people them where arranged the charter flight. It is understood that the chartered flight is being arranged by Dominica, Barbados, Grenada, and the Bahamas. Where is the Jamaican government? Where is the Jamaican government in all of this? Where's the Jamaican government? Where is the Jamaican government? You know, it's very interesting that things seem to keep happening under the Andrew Holness led government. It seems to me it's either they're very incompetent when it comes to look out for people who are abroad, it's citizens who are abroad, who are stranded and in need of assistance. It is a trend. They always bring the receipts, you know. In the days before the Russia launched its military invasion of Ukraine, governments across the globe worked to get their citizens out of the country and to safety. The Jamaican government was no different, but has been criticized for offering a loan to the students instead of paying for their evacuation directly. Who remember that saga? I do. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade Kamina Johnson-Smith said that the Jamaican government had made a special offer to assist the Jamaican students seeking to return home, and ultimately no students had utilized it. I wonder why. Under the offer, the government would book and pay for the plane tickets for the students to return home, with the money to be repaid to the state at a later date. While some students did request assistance, they decided against taking up the loan, opting to make private arrangements or remain in Ukraine in hopes that the invasion would not occur. For people to make that decision, it simply means that they could not afford it and they would rather die than not have the money and then not put themselves in another debt. As news broke that President Vladimir Putin of Ukraine and scenes of war shelters. Now, the government came under criticism for that. The government came under fire for the decision to offer a loan rather than to repatriate students at a cost to the state. At the time, opposition spokesman on youth and sports Senator Gabrielle Morrison criticized the government, and in her statement she said that this practice of leaving our citizens stranded when they face crises overseas has become a routine for this government. And she gave an instance. She said, "We recall the fishermen left stranded in a U.S. immigration facility in 2020, as well as the Jamaican cruise ship workers left to languish at sea," she said in a statement. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has defended his administration's handling of the situation. He said that the procedure of offering a loan to citizens for travel is not unusual, and that this is not the first time such an offer. That was his excuse. Oh, it's not the first time. It's not the first time. It's not the first time does not mean that people are stranded. PNP went out and criticized the government at the time. PNP said that the request to provide to cover the cost of tickets for students from Ukraine to Kyiv, where they were seeking to get to Poland. And later the government made the decision to foot the bill for the repatriation. After outrage. The outrage. The government, the administration, they have a habit, ladies and gentlemen, of leaving its citizens. Citizens need them the most. Government is the Jamaican government when the citizens need them the most. And when I saw the article, I really, and so I immediately went to social media and I made a post. So I made a up on my YouTube channel. The same, read it here for those of you who are listening in on the radio. This is what I wrote earlier, and it is entitled "Where is Jamaica when its citizens need it. They need it. The international crisis, the effectiveness of a government response in ensuring the safety of its citizens abroad becomes glaringly apparent. The approach to handling crisis evaluates stranded citizens as raised questions about its proactivity, sparking the inquiry. Why was government response off seem delayed? A concerning trend has emerged. The 2022 Russia-Ukraine conflict, with Jamaican students facing initially being offered loans for rights that many could not afford. The government's event in comparison to other nations that are swiftly organizing emergency aid and evacuations. The reliance on other governments, while sometimes beneficial, highlights concerns about Jamaica's capacity to protect its own. The core issue lies not in logistical capabilities, but in the lack of clear leadership and proactive planning. Citizens expect unwavering support from their government during crisis. For Jamaica, the question is, and it is a straightforward one, will it develop a proactive strategy to safeguard its citizens abroad, or will it continue to will it continue in its reactive stance? That's my take. You can give me a call, 508 762 7621. 508 762 7621. WhatsApp call, 508 762 7621. What's your take? A few weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago, my computer give me pure problem, you know, people. I can't get to my articles that I saved, the articles that I really want to get to. I can't get to them because my computer is acting up on me. But let's see if we can. Weeks ago, let me see if I can bring up here. A lot of Jamaicans were on social media, and I'm going back to it because I did address it, but I'm gonna continue to try to debunk what you call it, false news, fake news, as much as I can. I'm on my little platform to see if I can continue to debunk a lot of the fake news that's going on, not only in Jamaica, but the world. The Prime Minister made a statement addressing the number of people, and somehow the Prime Minister, he was talking about the rate in Jamaica, and then he went to asking or stating that he wanted to see, or was proud of, Jamaica coming back home to help to develop the country. And somehow, in that statement, let me see if I'm gonna do something different because I can't get it on my computer. So let me see if I can pull up the this statement on my phone to help to develop the country. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and play it for you. And I want you, ladies and gentlemen, who are watching, to tell me where you heard, because I have to do this, where you heard the Prime Minister talking about people coming back to have babies in the country, because that is what a lot of people came away with. And I'm like, hold on, did I miss something? Because I watched the speech, I listened to the speech, and nowhere in the speech did I hear the Prime Minister asking anybody to come back home and have any baby. But somehow, that is what some people heard. So, let me play this clip again for you. I'm going to play the clip. I'll play it off on my phone, come computer and work.
It may shock you to learn that since 2018, our birth rate has fallen by 24%. You need to be growing by at least 2.1% to be at replacement. I'm speaking to the most productively fertile generation. And by the response, I know it is a topic that is of serious interest, but bear with me. So we're down 24%. Surprisingly, but counterintuitively, there is a view that, well, that means, well, your education budget should be reduced. You don't have to worry about, funding all kinds of means less people to support the pension system, which one day you will need a pension system to support you. It means less people available for the labor force. How are we going to grow? If you layer inefficient bureaucracy on a tightening labor pool, what is going to happen is that wages are going to go way up and productivity is going to go way down. It's a serious social issue that we face. So I am very happy when I hear Jamaicans who have migrated saying, you know what, I want to come back home. We need to stimulate a net return, a net gain of talent back into Jamaica. Look, I know some of the things that I'm saying challenge your outlook and how you see things. But we can't continue to see things the same way we have seen them for the last 50 years. They have not served us well. We need to have a different thinking. So we have to encourage Jamaicans overseas to come back here and help us to build here. One of the challenges, of course, they talk about hospitals, the roads, but they do also talk about the frustrating bureaucracy. The good news is we are working to change the bureaucracy. Today is a critical step in that we are going to support you in a mindset shift, in a thinking that we must pursue efficiency in the same way as we pursue security or fiscal stability. We must pursue efficiency. Efficiency is a key driver for growth. And efficiency, it is more than technology. It is more than infrastructure. Efficiency is also culture. And for culture to change, you need a mind shift, a mindset shift. And hopefully today will be the start of a shift in mindset for the generation that is coming to take Jamaica to its destiny of a country that is prosperous, the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. Thanks.
All right. So that is that was the entire speech. I did play it at a different time. That is the entire speech of what the Prime Minister said. And I asked a question on another show. How did people come away? Because it spread like wildfire that the Prime Minister is asking people abroad to come back home and help with the birth rate. That is the speech, you know. So I want you to tell me, where in that speech did you hear the Prime Minister say to anybody or ask anybody, whether in the diaspora or anywhere else, to have any baby? He briefly mentioned the birth rate. Yes, he did. But where in that speech did the Prime Minister ask anybody to have any baby? But that was the message that most people came away with from that video. So much so that a certain news agency in Jamaica ran with it, stating that the Prime Minister said what he did not say. Then they had to come with some form of retraction and correction. I did call for persons within that newsroom to be fired, because that was a straightforward assignment, and the persons who were responsible, they failed miserably. Now, people on social media are making videos talking about the Prime Minister, telling them to come home and have babies. And one young lady even made a demand that if the Prime Minister wanted her to have a baby, the Prime Minister had to give her a house. She was giving her demands as to what the Prime Minister needed to do in order for what's happening here? In order for her to have the baby. I tell you, 508-762-7621. The WhatsApp line. 508-762-7621. The WhatsApp line if you want to participate in the program. Ladies and gentlemen. Last week, I also started and had to abandon the program because of the sound quality. And I was talking about the rules are rules. Yeah? I was talking about rules are rules. And it came from the article where somebody was turned out, a young man was turned out of school again for his hairstyle. Again, from his hairstyle. We've been down this road, ladies and gentlemen, too many times. It is time we stop the nonsense. We have to remember, because a lot of people are saying rules are rules. All right, I'm going to give you the audio. As I said before, I have to be playing it on my phone because my computer is acting up. So I'm trying to get the audio, and I can't share the video, so I have to share audio from my phone. Here is the young lady talking about the Prime Minister, saying what the Minister never said. You call me, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, computer is not ready. So, but if you call me on the phone, we can work. All right. But here's what the young lady said.
You can promise me a lot. I want all I will fly home and breed. Fly home and breed and create a new generation for my island. Okay. All I need is a house and piece of land. In Kingston right now. Congratulations, women. Is it looking like that? We will never know.
Yeah. She has said that because for some reason, but somebody told her this thing that the Prime Minister never said. I'm sure she never heard the speech. There is absolutely no way she would have said that. And many others were talking about what the Prime Minister never said. Right? Even to you, Voices with the T. Mr. Man, good evening to you, my brother. How are you doing? Good. So yeah, that was one of the things I had to. And here's another one.
And you know, I can't bother with Dr. Honorable Everbright Andrew Honest. Because what Andrew mean by we were in Jamaica for a better opportunity. I'm back down here.
Prime Minister.
Jamaica
But the Prime Minister never said that.
Yes, there be big people down there.
Why are you arguing?
Also, lock down the institutions and the schools and something. Because nobody wants to learn anymore. Be a big people. They look at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old them. And some big 30-year-old people in them head. Them own thing, them go, them want, go, them parents to them.
Yeah. So arguing with something that the Prime Minister never said. She was arguing with the Prime Minister. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new information age, where people will argue with you about something that you never said, and they will tell you that even when you're on tape saying what you said, people will argue about what you said, and all they have to do is go back and listen to the tape. But no, this is what this world is coming to. I'm saying on my computer is giving me a real evening, man, because I can't do what I really want to do. Oh, love it, I tell you, I can't do what I really want to do. We continue on, and those of you who if you're listening in on the radio, I know you're supposed to have very good audio, but it's a video quality that is acting up. But I'm gonna try to go back to the article that I really, really wanted to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you want to call me, you can call me at 508-762-7621, 508-762-7621, for if you want to be a part of the discussion. So I'm trying to find the article that I saved, that I discussed last week, that I started discussing and had to abandon because I was basing my entire program around that article last week, right? It was about a young man who was sent out of school because of his hairstyle. However, I can't seem to find that article right now. So let me just talk about what it does when we just about rules are rules, because a lot of Jamaicans love to talk about rules are rules. And a lot of that was a rule. See, back of this was a rule. A lot of them forget that drinking from a certain fountain was a rule. So it is nonsensical. I find it interesting, to say the least, when I hear people talking about rules are rules and we should just follow rules, who just follow rules blindly? If the rules are not sensible, so to speak, if they aren't for anything of value, why should we? So this is what I was opining last week. And I had an article, never read it, but I'd written the article for the program. And it is entitled No School, but our rules become a barrier to education. And I started my conversation by saying that a recent report published on February 5th, in the it highlighted a troubling incident. It was reported in the Jamaica Star. It highlighted of appearance. It is cultural, it is historical, and it is deeply tied to one's identity. When students are denied access to education because of their hair, it does not conform to prescribed, because the hair does not conform to prescribed standards, the issue transcends discipline and it enters into the realm of social and cultural regulation. And this, for me, raises a fundamental question. And the question that it raised for me is that, are rules genuinely about preparing students for society, or are they relics of an outdated philosophy of just conformity? Why do we make rules? Do we really believe that we are making these rules for the students so that they are prepared for the society ahead? Or is it because of the outdated philosophy that we have, that people should just conform? I went on to say that the phrase rules are rules is often invoked as a moral shield and an attempt to portray enforcement as neutral and necessary. But history shows that rules are not inherently simply because they exist. I mean, other systems were once defended using the same exact logic. And I use the slavery example. The real issue is not whether rules should exist, but whether rules themselves are rational, equitable, and whether they align the purpose of the education. So, rules is not just that, oh, rules are rules, they must follow rules. No. That's why we have the everything society. Everything. That's why the Constitution, the amendments to the Constitution. Because we, over time, things change. The education system should not stick. And some of the rules that we have in society, some of the rules that we have in Jamaica, are relics of the colonial past. Relics of the colonial past. Now you may ask me if I am calling for the abolition of rules in schools. My answer to that would be absolutely not. Because we have to have rules in our society, because without rules, we're going to have anarchy. So I'm not calling for anarchy. I'm calling for rules that make sense. Because perhaps the issue is the institutional inertia, where school rules often persist, not because they are effective, but because they are just traditional. And changing them would require educators to rethink long-held beliefs about the authority. I want to remember that education by its very nature is not static. Education by its very nature, it's not static. Every day it evolves. Every day there are new things implemented. So if the goal is to cultivate a more disciplined society, if the goal, that's the goal, to cultivate a more disciplined, but the goal is to cultivate a more disciplined society and transformation, then focus should shift from just this rigid control to meaningful engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, the incident reported is not just about a haircut. That is what they say. It's not just about haircut. It is about access. It is about identity and the purpose of education in a modern Jamaica. We have to also look at if we if we are to look at the example, because some people may argue that if we relax rules, some people say, relax the rules because people have discipline. I agree with that. To some extent, people have discipline. But where does that discipline start? I would argue that no rule made me into the man today. None. Absolutely none. I would argue with anybody about that. You know what made me into the man I am today? My parents. The parents I have, that made me the man that I am today. School rule. No always wearing black shoes, and not wearing this pants and that color pants and khaki and that. That has little to no bearing on it. Because there are some international examples. They have strict rules that Jamaica have. We are doing much in society, you know. Many high farming education systems have moved away from this excessive rigid grooming standards. Many high performing, I wouldn't say it is abandoned. I would say it is redefined. Because it becomes less about the uniformity and becomes more about the accountability and the self-regulation. So, when you look at Jamaica, if we were to compare Jamaica to some other countries that doesn't have our strict grooming standard, Jamaica should be number one in terms of discipline. You know? But the minute we graduate from school, all those discipline gone out the road. So, because in society, so think about it. What's the correlation? Think about it. If we have the schools being very, very strict, so draconian, but then the society in general is indisciplined, where's the disconnect? Based on the discipline that we try to instill in the students in school, Jamaica should be number one in the Caribbean. Jamaica should be number one in the world. Are we? Ask yourself that question. Are we? Are we number one in the world? I think not. So that is my take on the situation with the Rules situation. I think it is time the Ministry of Education take control of this matter. Take control of the matter. The Ministry of Education. I think it is time. And not just take control of the matter, but have one standard right across the country. Because I do believe we have piecemeal discipline across the country. Every school is producing something different. Every school board, they have something different. We start focusing because a lot of these schools, that have this discipline, these strict disciplinary policies. Look at their passing grade. No, I'm serious. Not bashing them. Check their passing grade. So are we calling on the wrong? Because you think that here. It's not that him outrage. It's not that him have him come here with him here colored in green or orange or whatever. It's not that him come at school and him here no comb and him look like, it's just that him here grow up and think him here half inch too much. The other races, like the Indians and the whites and whoever else, they don't have the same growing policy for the hair. I have excuse about that. Because a lot of these people grow their hair, grow it. I know that for a fact. So is there another component to it? Apart from just discipline? Is it that the black not hit me always can? Is that it? I don't know. But yeah, we have to look into that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had a few songs that I had lined up to play. For some reason, the computer not allowing me to play them. So I have to just literally, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to break up the different topics in between songs. Hold on, let me see if I can. Maybe I can do this. Let me see if I can. Because sometimes you have to improvise. So let me see if I can improvise here. And I think we can do that, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do that. Cause listen, we run this thing here now. This thing here don't run we. Not sure. Yeah, man. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna get because I have a couple of songs here where me want to play, and we have to get it. Yeah, we're gonna get it in there. Earth around red. We have to get that song in there today. So we'll try see if we can improvise on something here. So alright, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this.
Watch out for the big time, people can say that them smart. By bringing the crack and the gun to come mash up the youth, them hot. Earth around red. When you all a look, them on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Whoa, yeah. Earth around red. When you all a sick, them on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Watch it. The mark of the beast are coming and are sneaking under man feet. A revelation time, check the signs of the.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just remembered while I was here messing around that I could hook up my my tablet. So yeah, the computer is still put. The tablet is here, so we can still play some tune. That's true.
Shuffle hungry belly day, I can't find food to eat. Red. Where they all a look tell the man them put down the gun. Back and turn your back and let the life calm down. These are the time we should have some fun. Give thanks to Jack as the man soon come. To make a sense to tell the man them left the politics. Back and turn your back and let the man get trick. Mama, let her run red. When you all look down on a TV, I hear next you dead. Whoa, yeah. Let her run red. When you all stick down on a TV, I hear next you dead.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a part of the program, you can give me a call. You can give me a call at 508. If you want to talk about any one of the topics that you heard me discuss earlier, 508-762-7621. WhatsApp, 508-762-7621. Any one of the topics that you heard me talk about earlier. We discussed the 50-year medical mission for the that is ending between the Jamaican government and the Cuban government. I mean, that kind of hit home. Yeah. What is it that we know about that? And I also spoke about the Jamaicans in the EU that may be benefiting from charter flights that's been arranged. Why is that our government is proactive in arranging these things? Why is that our government is never in a position to arrange these, always reacting to these issues? I also spoke about the here situation in Jamaica, where it's a hot beat for the year, and talk about rules are rules. So yeah, those are.
Hey, watch out, this is walking mind, the way you talk, Watch out for the vampire who will sneak up in the...
Come on, those are some of the things that we spoke about. Yeah.
Watch out for the big time who can say that it's hot. Would I bring...
I also talk about the misinformation. I wanted to talk about James Tallarico, because you need to listen for that name, you know. He's a rising star in the Democratic Party. He has a new kind of Barack Obama somewhat. He's a white dude out of Texas. And I did say a few nights ago that I was going to win against Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, the firebrand Democrat, African-American Democrat from Texas. So both of them ran for the Democratic nomination for Senate. And Tallarico won that race. Not surprised. He's from Texas. Yeah, not surprised.
In the crack gun, I heard you dead. Whoa.
James Tallarico's his style of politics is different. It's one of inclusion. And apart from that, he's accomplishment in Texas. He has some accomplishments. So if he wins, I think he's going to be an asset. Jasmine Crockett, they say that, you know, a lot of African American people are upset that she never win. I wasn't really thinking that she was going to be honest with you. As long as there was a runoff between James and Jasmine, I know that I knew it, that Jasmine was going to fall apart. Because apart from the fact that James is a white man, a lot of people, especially white women, they see Jasmine Crockett as loud and vulgar. She's a very brilliant person. She's forthright. She's passionate. But we know it goes where if you're a black person, they say that you're aggressive and you're loud. But if you're a white person, you're just passionate. And a woman, they have some adjectives to describe women about their voice and the scream. But if you're a man, you're just shouting, you're passionate about what you're saying. So that's the whole politics thing. You know, don't talk about a woman dress. They never talk about how a man dress on a campaign. As long as you put on a tamata for soup. Now have on a jacket, have on a shirt, a tie. And no talk about a woman, a woman. So they talk about how the woman dress. So that's one of the things I want to talk about. You know, I had some clips that I had seen, but not happening. Nothing. So this. But no time I love Jamaica, not true?
Strong people with a powerful culture. Baba with style are the fastest runner. No. Jamaican girls, them sweet like sugar. Ackee and starfish and coconut water. The Blue Mountain make you fly a little higher. No.
I feel like jamming to the reggae beat. Dance to the rhythm and move your feet. I feel like jamming to the sweet vibration. Let me see your hand. Raise it to the sky and let me see your hand. If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand. Sweet Jamaica. Sweet Jamaica. Sweet Jamaica.
Sweet Jamaica, we nah left ya. Love me a key and my saltfish, we nah left ya. Top ya man banana, we nah left ya. I'm a big flower dumpling, me nah left ya.
Ain't nothing like the sweet cool breeze a jam down. String up the sun, one heap of vibes can't done. Reggae music beautiful and people just a have fun. Jerk on a place I work a fish a steam down.
Me proud of me island. Lord of God, me say me proud of me island. Come in St. Vegas, we proud of me island. Outlaw Jones, you will me say me proud of me island.
Sweet Jamaica. If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand. Raise it to the sky and let me see your hand.
That's what we say.
If you love Jamaica, let me see your hand.
Right.
Jamaica. That's where me come from. Bob Marley and the realism of the real icon. Arthur International Corridor.
Let me start that one here. Like how Martin Luther King would have started. My dream, my dream, my dream, my dream, my dream. Tell you my dream is to live my dream. Hear the most I in me sleep when me sleep. Tell you my goal, my goal, my goal. All of my goal is to reach my goal. Live a happy life, put it on me headstone. Nobody no fi cry over me dead. Look at me now, where them treat me less than gold. Put me in a box like a rectangle. Oh oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. I mean, I tell you my life, where them used to go round me, go round. No one used to come round me. My life was so lonely. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Me a take plane like JUTC. When you see me, it's on TV. Shows after shows after shows after shows. Tours after tours after tours after tours. When me name call is like roars after roars. Sweet melody and chorus after chorus. Them like a one door, me bust doors after doors after doors after doors after doors after doors. Look at me now, where them treat me less than gold. Put me in a box like a rectangle. Oh oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. I me can tell you my life, where them used to go round me, go round. No one used to come round me. My life was so lonely. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. The blessing does a flow over. This a copia and a cover. Jaja soldier, from boardhouse to sidewalk to leather sofa. Them say me living at the coast and no track, no sir. Me no mix up in a coca. Marijuana no dust to the nose, yeah. I no powder, not a obia. Can't get over. Look at me now, where them treat me less than gold. Put me in a box like a rectangle. Oh oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Oh, look at me now. And me I tell you my life where them used to go round me, go round. No one used to come round me. My life was so lonely. Look at me now, look at me now, look at me now. Me a thank God for me blessing. No me can afford to give back to some of the same people. Them we used to set things, all who used to set him. Now bust him, can't bust them. Same one I take bus. Come on stage trophy, call up them, but me still a call up them. Bust them, but me can't trust them. See them, but me not touch. No hate them, but me can't love them. From Trenchtown, our next star rise again. Look at me now, where them treat me less than gold. Put me in a box like a rectangle. Oh oh, look at me now, oh, look at me now, oh, look at me now. And me just tell you my life, where them used to go round me, go round. No one used to come round me. My life was so lonely. Look at me now, look at me now, look at me now, look at.
Yeah, man. Look at me now. Yeah, man. How many of you can say that? Huh? Look at me now. You look back over your life and you see where you're coming from. You see where you started out and you see where you're at today. And some of us can say that, hey, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. Yeah? A lot of people can say that. A lot of Jamaicans, because Jamaicans are some very ambitious, very, very ambitious people. We are very ambitious. And we look for every opportunity to elevate. Yeah? And when we elevate and when we shine, yeah, man, we do it. We do it spectacularly. Yeah, Jamaicans. And I often think about it, you know, I say, people who are not Jamaicans, how they manage? No, seriously, how people who are not Jamaicans, how they manage? Because I could not see myself as anything but a Jamaican. I had to be a Jamaican. I couldn't be nothing else. I can't be nobody else. I can't be. I don't. How do they manage? How do they function not being Jamaican? How do they feel not being Jamaican? But I don't know. But yeah. We love Jamaica and we not sell out.
Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. But when we there yard, nothing nice like Jamaica. Roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out. Me no foreign minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represent the citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Represent where you're born. Tune up hurricane and star. From the crime rate track, me no matter about tax man, still a hustler than a guan. Jamaican have the link to the link. They connect Canadian, American, England. Make sure say when they are foreign and a hustle, mama visit Western Union. Don't make we build up with foundation. All the hard man, them fear of ambition. Don't flash out all the money back, let's spare any.
Come on, that the man say. Yeah, man, Jamaica. We love Jamaica. We not sell out. We can't afford to sell out, not true? Can't afford to sell out. So the thing said, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so as I said before, we are having issues with the computer. So some of the things them when we have planned can't get to them. So what the next best thing we do? Play some music. Not true. Yeah, man, the best next thing we do.
Na 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 na. Yo, never lost my way. Never turned fool when I reach out the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach out the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused, yo. I'm the element of surprise. Fittest of the fittest shall survive, yeah. Over the mountains I lift my voice. Angels harmonize, yo. Give them another high pitch. Light up another big lips, yo. When me sing, me not for rich. And the money man, I look out on this, yo. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. My heart could be bitter, but I choose not to. His love I prefer. I could be a murderer, but I see no joy in being a killer. What makes the world go round? Me say love some money, them a clown. The truth is there to be found, so let it be known. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. So long as there is life, there is hope. So keep it real. The struggle may be long, but this is where I belong. The struggles make me stronger and even much wiser. Soon the world will see the power within me, yo. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. I'm the element of surprise. Fittest of the fittest shall survive, yeah. Over the mountains I lift my voice. Angels harmonize, yo. Give them another high pitch. Light up another big spill, yo. When me sing, me not for rich. And the money man, I look out of this, yo. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused. Never lost my way. Never turn fool when I reach at the crossroad. Never lost my way. Never see the hype and get confused.
Radio Alley, Reggae Top.
Our society. Dismissed.
Rastafari, I and I would have no strength to survive. Hey, let us take a look around, see what's going down. Yo, tell me how come here in Jamaica so many people still have fight Rasta? Tell me how come down a East West them never chat in man but them chat sizzler. Tell me how come people have support the street, no people love the Prime Minister. Tell me how come those in power don't seem to care. It's 'cause life is so unfair in this sweet paradise, and this is what we swear. Out of many one people, can you see that anywhere? Everyone treated equal, and this is why so many die, leaving so many to cry. Tell me how come there's so much guns in the streets and none of them gun they never make ya. Tell me how come AIDS is spreading wild, taking paradise of Jamaica. Tell me how come the dollar value's going down and everything's going up around town. Tell me how come Google had to get gone down. 'Cause life is so unfair in this sweet paradise. And this is what we swear. Out of many one people, can you see that anywhere? Everyone treated equal, and this is why so many die, leaving so many to cry. Tell me how come the youth them downtown can't receive the education like the youth them uptown? Tell me how come Jack you are dead at jail and the prosecutor know he's innocent and shouldn't be there? Tell me how come so much hungry belly out the street and Babylon not one like say them not see it? Tell me how come people see it and not speak? 'Cause life is so unfair in this sweet paradise, and this is what we swear. Out of many one people, can you see that anywhere? Everyone treated equal, and this is why so many die, leaving so many to cry. Life is so unfair in this sweet paradise, and this is what we swear.
A word from the wise, don't try to make life on your own. Remember that Jah just by your side. For I was a soul who was lost, and my life was in dismay. For among evil forces in which I played, guns and ammunition were my chosen way of life. With God-fearing people I chose to strive. For all of the lives that are taken, they can never be replaced. But still Jaja chose to remember my face. Though I never lived like he wanted, I'm still mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. God, Father, you rescued me. I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road. 'Cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark. He was the light at the end of the road. When I was a young boy, growing up in Augustown, we ate from the same pot. We were Indians all around. From Gola to Colorado Corner, from Rockers to Jungle to Tire, Bryce Hill to Dread Heights and River, all around. And then the football ground became a battlefield, and my life seemed so surreal. People were falling all around, but Jah helped me to stand my ground. Only Jah could have helped me to stand my ground. Though I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. 'Cause Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road. 'Cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. Oh, never lived to please him, I never lived like I should. Oh, Father, you rescued me. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've lived and I've learned. I've made mistakes along the way. Now I beg for forgiveness each day as I try to pray. So take it from me, son, you can change the world today. And I'm living proof that crime doesn't pay. For I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees, 'cause Father, he rescued me. And I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road, 'cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees, 'cause Father, you rescued me. And I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road, 'cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. Though I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. I'm on my bending knees, I ask the Father, please. Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. I barely made it along life's road. As my life got dark, he was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. I never lived the way he wanted me to.
If Jah is by my side, I won't hide. No, I won't hide. Bum, 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 this a junior. Bum, 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 this a junior. Bum, 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 this a junior. Bum, bum, bum. If Jah is standing by my side, then why should I be afraid of a pestilence that crawls?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we call it quits for the night. I want to say thanks to everybody who stuck around. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thanks to Fit FM 96.7 from out of Trelawney. Thank you for taking this broadcast. I do wish for you a very, very great weekend. Whatever you're up to for this weekend, I hope that you enjoy yourselves. I hope if you are resting, that you will rest well. And for those of you who are worrying about the war, well, I tell you, it's we're in for a long haul, you know. It's a very dangerous world that we're living in. And anybody who is telling you what they're going to, or is predicting what is going to happen tomorrow, you know, that they're telling themselves, they're fooling themselves, they're liars. None of us know what is going to happen tomorrow. We don't know, because the world is a dangerous place. It has always been dangerous, but it's gotten increasingly dangerous for the past few years, and 26 is gotten, more dangerous. So, but I want to wish for you a blessing, and may God continue to guide, bless, and keep you. And I will catch you next week. Wednesday, I will hear the musical vibes. Not on YouTube, but on Radio. My listeners who are always tuning in, I big up all those people. I have some people regular like Boss Lady, Sister, the Bog, quite a few other people. I can name everybody. Check on a Wednesday evening on the website at CaribbeanVibesRadio.com. That's Caribbean with a K, Caribbean Vibes of Caribbean Vibes. Check it out. But that's it. That's it for me. I will catch you next week. I am out of here. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening.
It's your will, no weapon that form against me. This is think I'm gonna do keep up now? No, no, not go bow.